Okay, guys, so while you're filling that out, just a little bit about me. As Crystal said, I work in student affairs, and I really just see part of my role here is to help develop students so that they can be successful after college. And so the reason I asked Mr. Jarvis to join me is he's a reflection of who I was about 8 years ago. And so when we talk about how do we get our dream job, how do we become successful in the professional field, regardless of what your major is, and I know that many of you are IT type majors, which I don't have any experience with IT, but I do know that when I was your age, with minimal professional experience, how do you sell yourself? And so that's why we're focusing on this topic today. So it's not always about quantity of experience, it's about quality of experience and how you talk about those experiences. And so for myself, I was able to get my dream job at 29 years old, and I didn't have a lot of years of experience, but within those years, I had depth of experience. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Who are you?
What a way to pass the baton.
Yeah.
So guys, my name is Matt Jarvis. I was student body president the past 2 years. Now I'm the GA with Career Services. So me and Matt, we work pretty well together, but we're also kind of cool to see. Matt was where I was, what, 15, 20 years ago?
Not that old, but yeah, 15.
With that, so the name of it is How to Turn Experience Outside the Classroom into Interview Success. If you look over the kind of worksheet, don't worry about the back of it. But there's something called like an elevator pitch or an elevator speech. It's like a 30-second spiel where you tell your story to whoever's interviewing you. But to tell your story effectively, you have to understand what it is first. So whenever we look at this, there's like a couple of things where it talks about like what are your strengths, what are your skill sets, stuff like that. Matt, like you were talking about, whenever you're getting this opportunity, whenever you're telling them about yourself, you only want to talk about the things that are important. So Matt gave an example. I guess you were like in an interview or something, and you want to go ahead and share that?
Yeah, so I had someone looking at my resume when I was in grad school, and they were really honest with me. They said, so you were student body vice president in high school? And I was like, yeah, and I was really proud of that. And they said, who cares about that other than you? And it hurt my feelings at first, but then when I thought about it, it was true. So the things you're doing right now are way more important than titles. So for example, Crystal asked me to talk about involvement in student organizations. How many of you all are involved in at least one club on campus? Okay, so if you're not, I would encourage you to do that. We have over 200. You can come and talk to me. I'm going to leave some of my cards with Crystal. But there's several things that you can get involved in. But again, it's not about a position that you hold in that club. Yeah, it's cool to be a student body president, but what did you do as student body president? That's what employers want to hear. So how do you talk about experiences? How do you tell stories? People actually want to hear those things. A lot of people were officers in clubs. A lot of people were student body presidents, but it's what you did with those titles that's going to help you sell yourself. So do you want to go into having them introduce themselves the first time now?
Yeah, absolutely. So real quick, it's not many of us, so it should be easy. We're just going to go around and we'll start in the back. Just introduce yourself.
Like just name? Alright, well hi, I'm Tim. I'm CIT major going in game development, and I'm graduating this spring looking for a job.
Awesome. Dave?
My name's Asia. I'm also a CIT major and going into web development.
I'm Michaela. I'm a business marketing major, and I'll graduate this summer.
I'm John Paul. I'm graduating in December, and I'm majoring in computer science, and hopefully getting into software engineering, and hopefully an internship and eventually a job.
I'm Carolyn. I'm a business marketing major, and I graduate in December.
Congratulations. That's exciting.
My name's Gage. I'm a digital forensics and information assurance major. I'm also graduating in December.
Okay, so who can be really brave for us and share a few of the things that you wrote down for the first section here? What about your college major, internships, part-time jobs? Just anybody. Share with me what you wrote down.
I put social skills, customer service, work ethic, leadership.
So I wanted to pick on you, but I can't. So each of those things are strong. They're very descriptive. Work ethic, leadership. They're all good. I was looking for somebody to have some fluff in there. So those are all excellent. Those are the types of things that employers want to hear. What's the next section, Matt?
What are your strongest skills?
Strongest
That's a good one.
What was your name in the back?
Tim.
Tim, what did you write for that section?
I haven't written anything.
Okay. What would you write? I'm going to put you on the spot.
Let's see, so firstly, programming, debugging,
Okay.
learning. It's probably the biggest one.
Okay. Learning.
Like to learn new skills.
Okay. That's actually impressive. What is very cool in an interview, Chris will tell me if I'm wrong, but it's okay to not know everything. It's also okay to be willing to learn new things. You're not going to know everything about a job when you go into it, and so you don't want to oversell yourself. That's not cool. Nobody likes an overconfident person. Well, at least I don't. Matt might. What did you put for that section?
Verbal communication.
Okay, be more specific.
That's one we can pick on.
Yeah, Matt, you take that one.
Tear it apart.
We. It's okay.
It's okay, but there are things like so verbal communication, right?
Yes.
Okay, so she just answered me, so I'm assuming that you can verbally communicate. If you're talking, if you're at the jobbing, that's something. So whenever you're having this like opportunity again, interview is a quick process where they're just trying, not necessarily get out, but they're trying to get the most of that time. So saying that, oh, I'm good at verbal communication. Great, so are parents. So that's one of those opportunities where you do want to make sure like you can slim down on some of that stuff and put in something that might make you distinct or might make you a little bit just different or differentiate yourself. Try to sell yourself the best that you can. Try to make yourself unique with that situation.
Good point. Gage, what did you put for what you're passionate about? What are your strengths?
I put adaptive, drive to stay current, and procedural based methodology.
I would guess that
Methodology.
each of those things sound like you would want that in the IT field. What was the first thing you said?
Adaptive.
So I did do a little research last night on Google, but employers, the number one skill that they're looking for is adaptability. And you can guess why. In the modern era we're living in, you might enter a job and 6 months later it might look way different. I do know that that's true with technology. So you want to be able to be adaptive. That's a really good strength to have. What's the very last question? What was your name again?
John Paul,
John Paul.
I received no paper.
Oh, that's really rude. So what is the last question, Matt?
What career opportunities or industries are you pursuing now?
So can I put you on the spot and just ask you what's your dream job?
Hopefully game development or maybe programming pinball machines.
Okay, so what would be your dream title or dream company to work for?
Probably software engineer.
Okay, what are you doing right now to make that a reality?
Well, I'm just studying at the moment,
Right.
but hopefully I'll be able to get into an internship or maybe help out be a TA over at the engineering building.
Perfect. So I wanted to pick on you too, because at first I was going to and say it's a trick question, but then you answered exactly what I'm looking for. So earlier I was talking to Matt about coming and doing this presentation with me. He was like, I'm just a GA. You're not just a GA, not just a TA. So you should always be thinking about what is the next step? How am I going to get there? So forever, when I came to college and realized I wasn't going to go be a pharmacist, even though I finished my degree in biology, it just wasn't going to work. I had some mentors that really encouraged me to enter higher ed and student affairs, and so I started thinking, if I want to be a dean of students one day, how am I going to get there? I wanted to be student body president. I set that goal. While I was student body president, how am I going to pay for grad school? So thinking about a GA. So you're already thinking about how do you get there. I just want you all to have some sense of empowerment that yet you are young, you are college students, but everything you're doing literally right now will matter. The relationships that you're forming with your mentors, your connections, with your references, they matter. I think that my story is a testament to that. I think his story is a testament to that. You can ask any of the professionals in this room. They got where they are because of drive and also having goals and setting goals and following through with those. So let's go ahead and try to do the reintroductions with your tips, Matt, and then we should be finished. Like for the elevator speech, back in the form.
So I know this is kind of a shotgun presentation, but that's okay. And we just had to introduce yourself. But now we're going to ask you guys to introduce yourself again, taking maybe some of those words that we just got from your resume, or not your resume, from your worksheet that you did, talking about some of the things that we did. Matt, if you want to give them an example.
Yeah, so we want you to think about this for maybe 1 to 2 minutes, and we want you to come down here, and it's not a lot of people. I think it's a lot easier to talk in front of a lot of people in a small group, and we want you to sell yourself. So we're intentionally not telling you what to tell us about you. Just pretend that you are sitting in front of possibly your dream job, potential employers. Who are you? What are you passionate about? Why are you entering the field that you're entering? Why is that important to you? And what are you doing right now to get to where you want to be? So think about that, and then we want you to reintroduce yourself, and then we'll be finished.
Do you want me to introduce myself?
Yeah, will you go first?
Yeah, I'll go
Perfect.
first.
What?
Is it close or dream?
It doesn't have to be. It could
It's
be
not
like
like
your
it
next
to be.
job.
So I could have introduced myself, but they didn't ask me to, so I'm going to anyway. So my name's Crystal Stewart, and I'm an IT Client Engagement Manager. That tells you who I am and what I do. Does that really tell you anything? No, right? But what I can tell you is my name's Crystal Stewart. I'm an IT Client Engagement Manager. And why I love doing my job is that it helps me engage with students, and I am invested in student success here at Marshall University. It's what I love, it's what I'm passionate about, and in addition to doing this, I also teach students in marketing, and I also advise one of the business fraternities. So tells you how, what, why, and all those things, okay? So it's a little bit more than just, hi, my name is. My name tag would tell you that, right? But tell them why. Tell them why they should hire you. I love your company, why? You know, go into it just a little bit more. So you wanna start?
That was really good.
No, I can't go after
That
that.
was really good.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Before
I
that,
think Gage is
So,
there. We're going down the road.
Carolyn's got
We're
it.
going down the line.
what were some?
You're gonna
I'm
both
gonna give you a
go,
break
so
really
one of you
quick
might
here,
as well
so
get
we
it
can
over
touch on body language and those things too. What did you perceive from Crystal, not in what she said, but what did you perceive about her? Some things that she exuded.
Confidence.
Confidence,
Just like she was
she's excited, it's clear, right? She made eye contact with everybody in this room. I watched that. She also went above and beyond in telling you, so I'm not just committed to students, but this is what I do in addition to what I'm expected to and get paid to do. I advise a student organization, I teach a class. Those are not things that she does because of her job title. That was perfect, like, to tell you.
You're welcome.
All right, you're on the, perfect, you're on the spot. You go next, yeah.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Paul. I'm a marketing major. I'm pursuing my marketing degree. I am involved on campus. I'm looking to excel in multiple ways.
And where do you wanna work? Tell them what your dream job is.
Be a marketer for them, like just sell the company as a whole, make people want to go and visit and buy timeshares.
And do you have any specialties? Social
Social media.
media.
What is it about Marriott or that company's values that align with your personal values?
Well, I've experienced staying with them, and then that makes me want to go up there. I love my experience.
Nice.
So I want to give back to the people.
So Crystal, that was a good job. Crystal actually pointed out too, you should know about the companies you're interviewing for, because I could tell you over and over why I love and am committed to Marshall University. It's not just because I graduated here, but we have a mission to serve underserved students. We are a regional school that has first generation student populations higher than many schools like us, and we also serve a community need. And so there's a lot of things beyond just being a product of the business. You should really believe in where you're working, so it's not just a job. You did a good job. Tim, will you go next, please? You can stand up back there, it's fine.
All right. So, yeah, I'm Tim, and I'm going into game development. I've been working at it for years, ever since before I got into college. And I'm about to graduate from CIT. I've also been involved in a lot of I'm off base.
You're doing good.
So I'm talking to the company I want to work for.
Yeah, but you're doing great.
Well, yeah. So I'm also exhausted because I've been reading textbooks late last night.
I got
But this is an important event. So, yeah, I've been working on game development. I got into it through modding long before I got into college. I've been working on a lot of stuff outside of my classes to help prep me. Unreal Engine, Unity Engine, C++. But I've also been involved with the game development guild because I wanted to give people at this school more opportunities to get involved in game development and learn more about it. So I've grown the club quite a bit, and yeah, now I'm looking to get into like a full industry job.
Nice.
Now, if you were at a conference like this, and you introduced yourself to maybe one of the professionals in the room during a networking, that's exactly what you want to tell them.
Cool.
Because that leaves an impression, and that's what you're trying to do with this.
I also like that when you got caught up in the middle, first of all, you walked through it and finished. Some people just collapse, right? So,
Yeah.
And then also you were really honest about why, and people respect that. I thought you did a really good job.
Cool. Thank you.
Remind me your name again. What was your name again, Will you go next, please? No. Really? Are you scared too? Okay, we'll give a pass. You get to pick who gets to go next.
I can try.
Thank you. What was your name again, too?
It's not gonna be good, but Michaela.
Michaela, okay.
Okay, I'm Michaela.
Stand up.
I'm Michaela. I'm a business marketing major, and I'll be graduating in August. I've always been really passionate about sports and fitness. I currently work for a FanDuel Sportsbook, and that's up the alley that I want to work. It's obviously involving sports, but I'm going to get more into it when I graduate. Work for a company and eventually own my own gym or fitness-related business.
Nice. You did a good job of tying those two things together, too. What feedback do you have, Matt?
I think it was good. I think your body language is good. Once you stood up, you kind of, I think, were honestly more natural and felt probably more comfortable when you were sitting down. You were kind of like hunched over. But whenever you stood up, you got up, your posture got up, you put your hands together, and you just kind of went for it, which is what you need to do. You need to be confident in yourself, and you did that.
For sure. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, please.
Hi, my name is Abel. I'm a public health major, public health masters in public health. I like my profession because my first degree is on health promotion. My second degree is on MBA. My passion about health is that I want to be a mouthpiece to people who cannot speak about their own health. I connect myself to the communities. I wish above all that every individual will have equal right to health and be able to live as long as they want to live their life. Also, coming to this public Marshall University, I was able to understand that here is more endemic of opioid and opioid issue. And I was able to say, I want to get myself connected to know why here cannot be get rid of. Now I'm working with a quick response team for opioid overdose. And by the measure of their work, the work they are putting in the community, the opioid overdose has reduced to 40% in faculty in West Virginia. Our name has always been in the newspaper, showing that every other community want to be a model to every other, around every other counties or around here. They're all coming to know what is your secrets. So I feel I want to, when I was coming in I want to work with WHO. I want to be employed under the UN. I want to involve with World Bank. Why I want to go to the areas of people that are neglected, people are not being talked about, cannot be remembered, people that media cannot even recognize. I want to go and align with them, to tell them that life is not all about whatever, and let them give their own responsibility and live life. Also, but when I came in here, I wanted to understand. They're working in the community, they are able to understand as well, there are people in this community that cannot speak for themselves. They have needs that people need to be connected and get them connected to the authorities who can care for them. And all the while, I've been going for it. So I wish above all, when I finish my degree, I'll be employed, maybe work a little bit with DHHR or something like that to be able to get my connected to the community. Because now we are out of opioid, but people are now debating other kinds of addiction, and which is a big issue. At the age that are being affected, at the age of level, for 18 to 45 years, and people waste their life, and that's one of the issues that are affecting the economy in this environment.
You're hired.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I believe it, and I think everybody else would have to too. And she gives specific examples about what you're doing now.
Yeah.
And those are the things that people want to hear. And I applaud you for doing that. I have to step out. I have another meeting that I'm supposed to be at right now. So I just really appreciate that you all are putting in this personal commitment. These things, while they may not seem like they matter, these types of things matter. Take advantage of all of these things while you can, while you are a student. And take advantage of the people on campus that you have that can mentor you in your field. I'm going to leave Jarvis maybe to answer questions. Again, I'm always here for students. I work in the Student Center. I'll leave my cards with Crystal and Matt. And if you guys ever need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to me.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. Do you guys have any additional questions? This is a really great worksheet. I'm going to take over for you for just a second. I've done this in some of my classes, and we go over these things so that you have that pitch a little bit. And it is a really great way when you're at a networking event to take advantage and kind of already have something prepared, know what you're passionate about. I know Carolyn wants to go work for Marriott. She may not work for Marriott, but she may work for another large hospitality company. So, having that ready to go will benefit you, even if it's coming to an event like this. So, you guys left us, man. You missed the whole thing. Do you guys have any other questions for Matt or even for myself? I can answer some of the stuff, maybe Matt James.
So the other Matt mentioned about clubs on campus and how we have a lot of them. Does Career Services keep track of that? Do they connect students to clubs that could benefit them?
So Career Services doesn't, but the Office of Involvement and Engagement does, and that can be found in the basement of the Student Center and the Lead Center.
Gotcha.
You'll see it's the only new thing down there since the building was built. And if you go in there and just ask, like, hey, I need some clubs that, have this personality, X, Y, and Z, they'll be able to hook you up with those. You can also look on HerdLink. That's, I think, I think all the clubs now are officially on that. You can actually there put in certain interests that you have, and it'll come up with clubs that would be a good match for that.
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate that he did recommend clubs because it's a great way to get connected with people.
It absolutely is, and it's a great way to network. It's a great way to see people in the community or even people nationally, internationally. These clubs that you get involved with. I think Chris would talk about the biz fraternity. I was in that as well. It's a way to get to know people all over the country. Again, expanding that networking, expanding your worth. Any other questions, comments, concerns, fun facts?
When it comes to campus organizations, we always suggested, when we taught uni, and I know it may have been a while for you guys since you had uni, but join an organization that might deal with your major, but also join an organization that you might find fun, okay? There are 200. It doesn't have to be fraternity and sorority life. It doesn't have to be in honors. It doesn't have to be one of the organizations with Greek letters, which Bill and I would disagree, but because we like those, right? Yeah. But there's gaming clubs, there's Hackers for Charity, CCDC. So outside the technical realm, and if there's nothing you want to do, you can start your own. So there's that opportunity as well.